Alright, welcome back. It's been a while, but anyways, got busy. So, last time we left off, we had our, basically, our navigation here, and I was gonna tell you guys how to make a obstacle joining. So, to create an obstacle, and add it into our code is pretty easy. So if we go back to our code, the only thing I added was one more parameter, which is the obstacle node. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop an obstacle node here. So how you do that is you right click create, and then you go into our navigation. Then you choose an obstacle that you want. I'm just going to be simple and choose a little box. I'm going to put it somewhere around here. Let's reset that to 0, and then let's just make that size to like a 4x4 or something, so we can actually see. Whoops, this is the player dummy. Edit camera, so we can actually see that it fits inside here. So okay, with our object over here, let me just move it right here somewhere so it blocks a good chunk of one of our points, because our points is here and there's another point, so this blocks it here. Let's just move it a little bit like this so it knows to get away from that object. So let's put that obstacle box inside here, and we are done with that for now. We shall go inside here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to add a pointer. You don't really need to, but actually you do. We do need this. So obstacle pointer. Now, in order for the calculations to work, we actually need to make sure that it knows that there is an obstacle before it creates our path. So we can either add it here or we can add it here. So we'll just add it over here, along here. So we could say obstacle pointer equals to Unigine static cast and then box, since we know it's a box, and then we're going to say obstacle node dot get. Right, so now it knows that there is an obstacle pointer that we have inside here, and then it's going to detect it automatically and then check it out. We don't really need to do anything, to be honest. The last thing we can do is actually create a visualizer so we can see this, and that's literally it. It does its all calculations by itself. There is more if you, let's say, if we go inside our path route class, and if we wanted to exclude specific navigation meshes or specific obstacles that we don't want to, or like we can ignore, then it can do that, right? And we get a few other functions inside this class. So if you do want it or not, you can even create the size of the path route, everything. We can actually, I wonder if we can change that without creating a new one. There you go. Radius, so we can change the size of the object that is supposed to be moving across the route. So let's try and see if this works. We have the object right there, and let's try it out. Sorry about that, it did not work because we were supposed to do that before we create the pathing, apparently. So let's, just to be safe, I'm just gonna put it here. Alright, so now we put it there, it worked. So we have object here, pointer here, and what it does is it blocks away from the path. Now I can't really move this camera because it was just to show it, but let's say if we move this somewhere else, let's see, right here. Alright, as you can see, it moved and calculated, and you could see like our health bar just changed for some reason. But anyways, looks like it does need to restart every time for some reason for calculations, but that's okay. For now, we realize that the obstacles itself does have a good amount of influence switching between the object and the parameter, and we have a lot of different ways of pathfinding, and it shows us the fastest way ever. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Not really that big. So now we have the obstacles, we have the pathfinding, we got our routes, and now what we can do is we can move our objects into these routes and have it through the idle, and then have the rest of the code completed exactly like how it normally does, where if I'm visible, change it to alert, or and the old what do we call logic that we had. Alright, so with that done, I think this was a pretty short one, but I'm gonna be a lot busier, so I have to make it shorter or more to the point. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Until then, goodbye.